Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. I've already done one video on the skinning machine and I showed a coon on it, but one guy wanted to see a coyote done on it, so I'm going to do a coyote. But before I start this, I want to give a very good tip. If you're making a skinning machine, if you already have one or whatever, don't get too aggressive with the winch, because unfortunately my brother caught a coyote either yesterday or the day before, and he wanted to try out my skinning machine, and I'm like, sure, and everything was going great, and I must have gotten too aggressive with the winch, and all of a sudden the fur just ripped it and almost ripped the thing right in half. So take it easy on the coyotes. Like you saw the raccoon, it'll rip the fur right off of them things, especially once you get around the shoulders. I'll show you at the point where his coyote ripped, and I'm just going to show you pulling the fur off the coyote. So let's get started here. Another tip, you got to, if your machine isn't like vertical and it's horizontal, like mine did a pretty good angle here, you got to make sure the front legs get started up underneath the fur too. I'll give it a little pull here. I'm watching the legs. This coyote was shot. I caught it this morning in a cable restraint. I was in a hurry. And it was bouncing around. It was a hip caught one, and just had to get it dispatched, so I shot this one through the lungs. Keeping a good eye out on the front legs, making sure they're tucking up in here. They're getting started up in there. If those front legs were out there pretty far hanging down, that seemed that I've had, it gets tough to pull. I'm just going to pull a little more here. It's pulling pretty easy. Fur's coming off. Still just pulling right off here. I'm going to move the camera a little bit. Now when I get to cutting on it, I'll be behind the animal, behind the camera a lot, so I apologize if I'm not hitting the right spot. It's still pulling pretty easily here. I might give a slight cut right here. I got two knives in my hand. That's not a good idea. But right in here, like with the coon, you don't got to do much. Like here, I'm just going to give it a light cut here. We're getting close to the shoulders. You can see when I cut it, just starts falling over there. Give it another pull. Not much blood coming from it. Right here is where I shot it. Right through the lungs. Now it's getting pretty tight. Now I'm going to cut a little bit. Like I said, I'm behind the camera, so doing my best here. Now I'm getting to the shoulder part right here. Another little pull here. Now I think I can get my steel through here. This is just an old torque wrench. It broke. Just ground the end down. I'm going to poke that right through its shoulder. Pull down a little bit. Got its legs started right here. Over the other side. Poke that down. Legs started there. Now right about here is where, move the camera again a little bit, I started pulling with the winch, and all of a sudden, I mean literally right here, it just ripped straight across the back. I mean, I felt I would have rather had him been my coyote any day of the week. But the only fortunate part was he needed a coyote face for a taxidermist to fix up a mount. So right here I'm going to do just a tiny bit of cutting. This is what we didn't do that day maybe. I don't know, maybe we were getting too, it was probably me on the winch, no doubt. Just do a little wee bit of cutting here. Little cutting here. So don't, long story short, don't get too aggressive on them. Still see the long shot coyote, there's no blood even dripping out of this thing right now. So now I'm going to do a little bit more pulling. Now I'm going to cut a little bit. When I got it like this, I can literally roll this thing around in my hand. It's sort of pretty slick here. Cut these legs down a little bit. I think the front legs are about far enough here. Cut the front legs off. I'll even cut those off shorter eventually. One. Legs done. I'm gonna move the camera again a little bit here. I think we're pretty close. A little bit more pulling here. Coming up over the head now. Tiny bit of cutting here. Just very lightly, especially with if you're using one of these things, the either the Weeby knives or a Havalon. They are really sharp. Little pull on again. I'm way past the earbud parts, but I just keep pulling it until I get the mouth started here somewhere. Should be coming up here pretty soon. Pretty big vein right there. I don't want to hack that or I'll have blood flying everywhere. I'm going to jump to the other side and work on the ears a little bit. Grab hold of that earbud good. I'm just going to slowly cut through that so I don't hack way down into it there. Oh, I hit something. Here comes the blood. Yep. A little too deep, I guess. At least it's dripping straight down. Now I'm in a rush. Get the blood out of the way. I can get my fingers right in the earbud holes. Sort of pull that the way of the coyote. Keep pulling for me. Should be hitting the jaw here somewhere. Got the eyes coming. A little more pressure. That's the most blood I got, even after the 22 shot. I'm skinning the whole bottom lip out. This is my brother's one good buddy. Cleaned some skulls. I'm gonna get this skull cleaned, I think. That or I'd have hacked the bottom lip off already. down to the nose cartilage. There comes the bottom lip. There we go. Almost done. Yes. So even with the long shot coyote, the most blood I got was where I hacked into an earbud way too far. So I'm going to cut that nose off. And that's it. Most of that bottom lip, that's all going to get cut off of there. But it works really well. But again, if you make one of these or you have one, and maybe you've already learned this lesson, but you don't want to have to learn it, especially on someone else's fur. This coyote is pretty decent, I think. I mean, it's typical color for Pennsylvania. Had a comment the other day, some guy said, oh, it looks like you got Montana dirt. I said, yeah, we don't have Montana coyotes though, but I mean, for a Pennsylvania coyote, coloration is pretty typical, but the fur seems pretty decent. Very little blood on it. Even long shot, little wee bit right there. Won't even worry about it. I ain't gonna wash that out. I'll wait till it dries and comb it out some, and that's it. All right, thanks for watching.